Oh, okay, folks. So, hello all, and welcome to Fey Earth. My name is Neil. I am the creator, designer, writer, person behind this alternate 19th century world where all the creatures from folklore and fairy tale are real, have always been real, and lived alongside humanity. Our game is set in the year 1872 in a France recovering from a pretty brutal war they recently had in which they allied with the nation of Prussia against the Fey nation of Arcadia, nestled between the two countries. A long and bloody war, which they ultimately lost after a devastating attack by the Fey. Um, some of our heroes fought in that war, some of them had family that fought in that war, and everybody is slowly recovering. And right now, I am going to ask one of our players to give us a recap, and just so they all realize they are all mute right now. So if one of you want to speak, make sure you unmute first.
Okay, I can do it.
Oh.
Um, so last session we started with a battle picking up. So Aminata, who's not here today, she was attacked by Shadow Wraith, and we fought them. So that was pretty much the whole session. We won. So we fought them in order to get to a treasure because it was all in the Fey Mound. So our group went there to explore and to get to the treasure as per request by an incredibly sexy artificer. So when we got to the treasure, we found out that there was some sort of which myself managed to lift. So no one died, no damage has been done, no serious side effects. We got to the treasure. It's a lot of money. It's some magical items, and it's a lot of gemstones. And we're debating whether the door that magically appeared on the other side of the chamber leads to anything terrible. We decided to go through it anyways, and we ended up outside, just pretty much where we entered. So that's it, I believe.
Okay, so Justine, you get 1d8 inspiration die that you can use at any stage in the game for an ability check.
You missed all the sexy flirtation between Sophie, our guest player, and Aminata.
There was a lot of flirtations between our guest player Sophie and Aminata. Now, unfortunately, I think Christina has frozen on us,
Oh,
but hopefully she'll come back. Maybe if she turns off her camera, it'll all be good.
there we go.
Great.
I wasn't worried.
I wasn't worried either. Christina's usually not the one plagued by the internet gremlins when we play. So anyway, yes, you had.
Don't jinx me now.
Yeah,
Don't
okay.
jinx.
So, Justine, having used her magic with help from Sylvia, Sylvia gave her her mana receptacle because she knew she wouldn't have enough mana herself to break the arcane trap set by the Fae on their treasure. You broke it, you retrieved the treasure, you basically poured it all into Gwyn's goblin purse, and then this doorway had appeared behind the dais of the throne and went out, and it conveniently led you right back out to the forest glen where you had found the entrance into the Feymound. Okay, so the party travels back in the direction of the carriage. Okay, it's a couple of hours of a walk. Like when I say a couple of hours, like an hour 20, maybe an hour and 30. It's not quite 2 hours. Okay, because it's not a very
Did
big.
we miss any time?
So when you get to the to the carriage, because the carriage man had said he was going away 2 days, all right,
Yeah.
and then he was going to leave. Okay, so so when you get back, he's like, you're looking around. You've come out of the woods. You can see it actually something funny is going on because it looks to be fairly early in the day. The sun is lowish in the sky as if it's early kind of morning, maybe somewhere between 8 and 9. All right. Now it felt like you were only in the Feymound for a couple of hours, but when you see the carriage, it says, "Oh, excellent! You're back and you're all alive."
What day is it?
It's Monday,
Okay.
and
Okay.
it was Sunday when you went into the mound. So it looks like, and this does sometimes happen in Fey mounds where time can move a little bit differently. Nothing like what can happen in the Fey realm itself, where you could be gone for, as happened to the party previously, where you were gone for what you thought was a few hours and you came back and like 2 weeks had passed. You know,
Don't
in
mind me.
in Fey mounds, worst case scenario, you're usually talking a couple of hours a day, maybe 2 days at an absolute maximum. Okay.
Okay, so we are on the 11th of March now. Is that correct?
Yes. It's
Okay.
the
Wanted
11th.
to ask.
It's the 11th of March now, Mademoiselle. And Monday, the 11th of March. Everybody is okay. Everybody is alive. I don't see any treasure.
Oh, we have it with us. We have magical items. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Ah, I see. So
Actually, I want to. Oh no, I can do it when we're in the carriage. I want to. I'm going to cast Nature's Boon because I have mighty 4 mana left. I'm going to spend 2 because I want to remove my exhaustion damage.
okay, so you cast Nature's Boon on some some berries and nuts that you have.
Yeah, well, Sylvia always carries snacks, so I
That
am
is true.
blessing. I am blessing my snacks.
So how you're casting it for 2 mana, yes?
Yep.
So
It's just to remove my exhaustion damage.
So, how it works is, you bless a portion of berries, nuts, fruit, or similar food, bloody bloody. Okay, when you eat them, you recovered 1d4 plus your magic. Okay, and you can bless.
Wait, I get mana back?
No, 1d4 plus magic grit.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
cool. Okay. Oh wow.
It will your exhaustion damage. So the lowering of your max grit is increased by the same amount. Okay. This is for 2 mana you only get 1 portion of 1d4 plus 3 food blessed. Okay. If you wanted more than that, you would need to bless a larger portion of food, which would mean spending more mana.
So I'm down to 2 and then 48. Okay, so does anyone need healing? I know I saw Aminata get hurt, but
Aminata had gotten a bit hurt. She says she's probably going to be okay with a bit of rest. I assume that
Nina, you.
I assume that Justine gave Sylvia back the mana receptacle. Yes. And Justine, did you tap into your 16 mana and then make up the difference on the mana receptacle, or what way did you do it?
No,
I think you did like half and half, did you?
Half and half.
Yeah, I did. I think I used I'll double check, give me a second. I have my notes.
Well, I have it written down. I have 18 points in the mana receptacle.
Okay, cool. Right, I trust that. Okay, so you can spend that whatever way you want. If you want spending mana from the receptacle on healing people, yes.
Actually, can I sacrifice the rest of my mana to put into mana receptacle for Sylvia?
Oh,
yeah,
you don't have to do.
You could do that, absolutely.
Just to make up for the difference I used.
Absolutely, you could do that. You So how much mana have you got left?
8.
So so you can transfer 8 mana into the receptacle. So now, Sylvia, you have an additional 8 mana. Okay.
So 26. Cool. All right. Well, Mina, I know that you also got hurt.
So you spend the next. So in the carriage on the way back, it's like I think I said it was like a 2-hour journey. As far as I think it was 2 hours. It's a couple of hours anyway. You heal up the rest of the party, exhausting pretty much the entire mana receptacle. I mean, Aminata had gotten banged up a bit. Mina had gotten banged up a bit. I think the only
I got banged up a bit more.
I mean, Gwyn, Justine, and Sophie, I don't think they got hit.
Sophie got hit in the arm, I think.
Oh, she got a minor glancing blow. Gwyn, her amulets of protection kept her safe, even when the raids got close. I think Justine.
Well, in that case, I don't necessarily need to use all 26 mana then.
Yeah.
So I don't need to do that. Okay, so if I
So, as I said, you spend you spend some of your mana whatever way you want, heading back to Paris. Okay.
okay.
So when you do get back to Paris after a couple of hours, okay, and you're led by the carriage to Madame Gautier's shop, which you've of course visited before. You alight. You all head in. Um, Sophie, seeing Madame Gautier, kind of tips the head and her hat, and says, "Well, I am gonna have to bid you adieu. I hope to see you all again sometime soon." And Aminata, my dear, I'll be sure to write. And takes her hand and gives it a kiss, and then heads off. Okay. And Madame Gautier comes out. She's like, "Oh, my dears, this is wonderful. I'm so happy to see you all back. I'm so happy to see you all safe. Shall we go into one of the back rooms and we can discuss how successful you were?"
Absolutely. I'll fill you in on all the details.
So she leads you back into one of the rooms in the back. It's a very nice room, and one of her assistant comes out to you all soon with some tea, okay, and she says, "So show me what you found."
I believe these are yours, and out of my goblin purse, I'll take out the limestone thingy, the compass, and the mysterious armband, and
Yeah, so-
hand them over. As per our agreement,
Yeah, so
these artifacts belong to you.
Of course, and she's looking at them, and she's like, "Oh, I'm okay. Oh, these," and she picks up the arm and is like, "Oh, this is quite useful. This is if it's what I think it is. I believe this is a band of Fey bats. Very very useful item. If one wears one and is traveling in the Fey realm, you are completely immune to the magical effects of the Fey realm with respect to time and so forth, as if you're true Fey."
Wow, we could have
Oh,
used that a
that would
few
have
weeks
been
ago.
very handy. Yeah,
Very handy.
last time. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the effect is on the user and not on their friends.
Mm.
And she looks at the compass. Says, this appears to be a simple fairy compass. It will point a direction to the nearest portal to the Fey realm." And then she looks at us and like, "Well, this could be at the piece of limestone with the red vein going through it." And she says, "This could be a number of different things. I'll have to study this a bit further." So I believe there was also the matter of treasure. I'm assuming there was treasure in the Fey realm, yes, or in the
Oh,
There
yeah,
was.
there was quite a lot.
Okay, so shall we go through that first of all? As I said, I will be taking 10%, and then the remainder will be divided between the six of you, because obviously Sophie deserves her proportion as well.
Of course, yes. So I'll produce the 2,000 gold.
Yeah, so it was 1,800 gold, 2,000 silver, a diamond, a ruby, an emerald, and a sapphire. Okay, so she's looking through them all, and she's very quickly counting out the coins and putting them into their respective piles, and then taking a look at the stones. She reaches out with her hand, and a eyepiece floats across to her that she puts down. She can look at them. Looks like similar to a jeweler's eyepiece, but slightly fancier. You're assuming this is probably magic. I was like, "Oh, these are, of course they are. They're Fey. These are fabulous gems." I would say that we'd easily fetch 150 gold for this diamond. This ruby must be worth at least 120 gold. This emerald, at least 100 gold. And I'd say the sapphire, easily 80 gold in total. So she, having the stuff in front of you, she very quickly does some mental arithmetic in her head. I says, "Well, I believe that this sum would be the equivalent of 2,450 gold. Which, taking my 10% from that, would leave you with 2,205 divided by 6 would be 3,670 gold and 5 silver each, of course. Looking at you all, assuming that you all did this.
Sorry, now 2,205 divided by 6 is not 3,000 each.
2,205 divided by 6 is 367.
300.
300,
Yeah.
yes.
And 67 each. Okay.
And 5 silver. Okay, so that would be your payment for each of you. Now, of course, some of you did recently acquire items from my shop.
Of course.
On credit. So,
Yeah.
we shall start with...
Sylvia is going to start immediately quickly counting out
Yeah.
gold and just so that is for the mana
So
receptacles
that
will be.
mana receptacle was 300 gold. So
Yeah, I know Sylvia counted that out.
okay. And Gwyn, you got the fairy glasses.
The fairy glasses
Um,
are
they're 15 gold.
15. The goblin purse is 100.
Yes.
The rope is 5. 120 so far. And the heal-all for Mina.
No, but
The heal was 50.
I will pay for that. I'll pay for that myself.
Okay, so you can fight amongst yourselves, okay? So you each pay your respective cuts, and
Does that mean that's
Yeah, Neil,
67 gold
sorry.
myself?
I'm sorry. I had the oil. I'm not quite sure how much was the oil again.
oh, sorry, yeah, thank you. You did get the oil, the sharpening oil. That was only 5 gold.
But that is worth every penny. So I'll give her the 55 gold.
Yes. So Sylvia, you have from the remainder that you have is 67 gold and 5 silver.
Yay! I've way more money than I thought I did.
Yes. So
Put that into my character sheet.
looking at you, I said, "Well, thank you for this. Thank you for this opportunity to work together."
Likewise. It was a pleasure.
I'm hoping that we can continue this business relationship, of course. Is there anything I could help you with today? She says, looking at you all, very much in a very mercantile. You have a lot of money. I'm good at.
I look
money.
at her and I go like, if it means we can work with Sophie again. She was absolutely fantastic woman, very skilled. So it was an absolute
Very
pleasure to
skilled
work
with
with
her
her.
rifle.
Yes, it was an absolute pleasure.
Well,
So thank you so much.
If she is free at the same time, absolutely, she does a lot of work for me and for others. So, was there anything else I could help any of you with today?
Well,
yes,
I do have a bit of a shopping list, as I'm sure you can imagine. My dear, would you have any of the following? A pendant of armor.
Okay, hold
A
on.
ring of deflection. Now, I'm not saying I need all of these. 1 or 2 would suffice. A traveler's, no, that would be beneath you. No worries.
Sorry, when you say a pendant of armor, do you mean a pendant of shielding?
The pendant of armor for 90 gold pieces.
Is that rare? Very rare. What one was that?
None of them are very rare. They're either common or rare. I think it's rare.
Okay, it's weird. It's not coming up on my bloody list. Pendant of armor. That's
magical items. Element of P. Uncommon.
That's so bizarre. This could be a naming thing.
I might have named it wrong.
Yeah, because it's the pendant of shielding, which is an uncommon item.
Let me see. Bracelet of armor.
Okay. Well, that's
my
different.
bad. In rare items. Okay. Apologies.
There's a pendant of shielding. Okay.
Bracelet of armor for 90 gold pieces.
Okay, so
natural strips of animal skin appears to be scaled. Type scales depend on where it's made. So it could be pangolin or
16.
crocodile. Gives magical protection with an armor rating of 5/3. Wow.
So if you happen to have a pendant of armor or a ring of deflection, that would be wonderful. I know I'm chancing my arm. Some of them are quite unusual.
Unfortunately,
but my dear, if you don't have them,
I don't have either right now, but I could certainly make these items for you. It would take me maybe a week or 2.
That would be wonderful. Perhaps we could ship them to Chambray. I think we may have to return at that point to the village. We have some unfinished business there, but I
Well,
certainly would like to commission them from you.
I could just send you a message. I could when they're ready, and we can
You know, an
arrange it.
excuse to visit would be lovely.
Okay, so certainly if you wish to commission, now don't forget your PowerPoints. Okay, so
Yeah, I won't be able to wear them
rare
all.
items are 2 PowerPoints. Okay,
Mhm.
and looking at your character sheet right now, you have
My
your
goblin purse takes up the bulk of.
so the goblin purse is 3 PowerPoints.
That was only
Okay,
2.
no, the goblin purse
Very
is
rare.
very rare. Okay, the fairy glasses is just 1. The goblin rope is 0, but there is that other amulet that the 3 sisters in the Fey
Yeah,
realm gave you as well.
very rare, is it?
Well, you don't know because you still haven't had it identified.
Oh yeah, Justine.
I've been like saying it again and again and again, but
Oh, we have a
Hey,
moment. I have
look,
a job for you.
I've been away, okay? I've been away. We'll
Yeah.
identify it after the long rest.
Excellent. Thank you
oh
so
yeah.
much.
So you have now ordered the bracelet of armor and a ring of deflection. Okay,
Excellent. And I'll just give her the 180 gold now,
of course.
just to take it out of my.
Now, hopefully, you'll be able to use all these items. You don't know. You're building up a bit of a collection already.
Yes.
Okay. And she turns to you all. Was anybody else interested in commissioning an item?
I'd like to see your wares because I haven't been here before.
Okay.
Khajiit has wares.
So, well, we can certainly take a wander of the shop in a few minutes if you wish. But if there's any specific items that you're looking for, I could probably tell you now if I have them or not.
Well, out of character, for some reason I can't search the document. So I know nothing about any items. But Justine probably would know what there is out there. So
Yeah, you have a good idea.
yeah, something to increase like defense or great points.
Oh, something that would increase your raw life force. No, those
Could
are
make a second armor bracelet.
I could
Gives
certainly
you a bit
make
of armor.
yes, a bracelet of armor would be useful. There's certain things. So a bracelet of armor would be one thing that you can use, to help protect you. If you I mean, sometimes you will be lucky and find enchanted armor in Fey mounds and the likes. There's other items you can get, such as a blink ring. There's a ring enchanted with a blink spell, so you can try to dodge attacks. Rings of deflection do similar things as well, deflecting attacks away from you. Then there is the pendants of shielding. So these are simple items that one wears, and if you're attacked, suddenly it gives out a blast of protective energy to repel the attack. But these items, they once used, it will not be active again until the next day. They are an item that's very commonly actually worn by gentlemen in Paris, in fact, because it is such a dangerous city. There are thugs and vagabonds that regularly attack the wealthy men of the city as they are walking home from their clubs and other establishments at night. So they will often purchase these items, maybe in the form of an enchanted cuffling or a pocket watch or some such thing. And simply that if some vagabond jumps upon them at night with a garrote or a knife, this blast of energy repels the attack, giving them a chance to flee. And as she's saying this, Gwyn, that sounds very, very, very bloody similar to the amulet that the trio of sisters that you met in the Fey realm gave you. It sounds exactly like what that item does.
Yep. It does.
What does the bracelet do?
Bracelet
Gives
of
you
armor.
armor.
It gives you it's basically the equivalent of a magical armor. So you are as if you were wearing armor. So what it does is it gives you a magical armor rating of 5/3.
I'm
Okay.
considering that myself. Actually.
Same.
Yeah.
And how much is that? Sorry, I forgot.
90.
One of them is 90.
90.
So you certainly
Okay.
have enough money.
I do have enough money. I do have enough money, but I wouldn't have enough money for a mana receptacle then.
No, you would not.
No, I would not.
Wait, you have like about 40 or 50 gold yourself anyway.
No, I had
We've been-
3.
You had which?
I had 3.
No,
Three.
because there's no way, because we
You
got
should-
paid by.
You should have 20 from the mayor
You
anyway.
should have had approximately 20 or so, unless you weren't. You must
But
have been
then,
updating your
so
character sheet.
not only did we have 20 from the mayor, we each got 25 when we fought the ogre as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So
I
actually,
started with 45.
And we got paid by the mayor for the Lukaku as well.
Fair.
So yeah, actually, you should have had, because
So-
you hadn't really been spending much money.
No, not really.
So you actually should have had at least maybe 40 gold.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would think.
Yeah.
I had been a bit rubbish at updating it myself, so I had just said that I had. Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
had said, okay, I guess I have about 35, but like you should have,
about
like, because
40.
we've been getting paid.
So
the whole
that-
time.
so- yes.
Although I did buy ingredients for to level up.
Yeah, but
You-
that was only like
But
2 or
don't
3
think
gold
that
at the
That's
time.
20
Yeah.
gold. So you would have had about 60 gold,
Yes.
and you would have spent maybe 20.
At most, probably not even,
Fair.
but we'll say that because you weren't keeping track, so boo you. So let's assume you have 40 plus the 367. That brings you to just
Sorry,
over
I'm rounding
400
up.
gold, which means you do have enough to buy a bracelet of armor and a mana receptacle.
Oh my goodness. It's exciting.
Yes.
I'm actually thinking about buying one as well.
So, do you ask her that?
Yeah, I am. This armor, this bracelet sounds very useful.
So, is everybody looking for one?
I think that might be the case. Yeah,
So,
Mm.
Tendai is
Yeah,
not-
how much is the
they're,
bracelet?
90.
They're 90. Tendai is not here, but I'm
Oh.
going to speak on Amanada's behalf, who is going to say, I would love one too, but I already have an incredibly powerful magical item, which I think would prevent me from being able to enjoy the benefits of such a bracelet.
Oh, yeah.
Because she has a legendary
Ring.
magical
Which is
ring
all
of
her power
invisibility.
points.
She's tapped out until she levels up. She can't use anything but common items or consumables.
Whereas I can stick stuff in my goblin purse, right? And that doesn't count as it's on my person.
It
Is that
doesn't
right?
count, but it means it's not working. You're not getting the benefit
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So do you
I
have to
can
keep
change
track
mine.
of what you're wearing and what
Yeah.
you're not wearing?
Yeah,
And
Cool.
so that's the thing.
Yeah.
hang on a second.
So you
Well,
see-
I'm on 5. I'd be on 5, so I'd be good.
So she says, so everybody is getting a bracelet of armor. Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It'll take me approximately 2 weeks or so to make all of these. Maybe a little bit longer because that's a lot of bracelets.
Oh, we understand. Perhaps Gwyn, could you send? You could send Gwyn a message. I am not sure where we will be in 2 weeks, but
Of course.
for sure.
I'll happily send her a message.
I'll come and visit. I'll pick them up myself.
I'm excited. So, is there any other items that any of you were hoping to procure today that I may or may not have in stock?
Yes,
I-
but my dear, I'm afraid they may be too common for your fine establishment. I am looking for a comb of cleanliness
Oh,
and a
of
traveler's
course.
tent.
A traveler's tent. Oh,
I know, it's for emergencies only, of
I
course.
always carry combs of cleanliness in stock. Of course I do. A traveler's tent. Let me think. Actually, I do believe I have a traveler's tent in stock. And sorry, Justine, it is Justine, isn't it? Yes.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Sorry, what were you going to ask?
Would it be possible to get another mana receptacle for myself?
You are, in fact, in luck. I have one more left. Your friend Sylvia had bought one, but I do actually have one more in stock. You're very much in luck.
That's amazing.
I don't even know why I made the two when I made them, but the gods obviously were speaking in my dreams.
So, comb of cleanliness. Yeah, how much are the cones of cleanliness?
Oh, they're very, they're
Cool.
like,
15.
oh, actually, no, sorry. The comb of cleanliness is, even though it's a common magic item, it is quite expensive because they are the most wonderful magical item in the world. They are
It's worth
15.
it.
They are 15 gold each, but they are worth it.
Yeah, I
So
can't.
for our viewers and listeners, a comb of cleanliness is a finely crafted comb made of silver and ivory, carried by wealthy individuals who are extremely conscious of their appearance. When the wearer combs their hair, the comb's enchantment immediately activates and straightens and cleans the clothing and person of the user. These items can be used up to 3 times a day before they must be recharged. So, a magical comb, you comb it through your hair and you are suddenly perfectly immaculate. You could have just been, trekking through the trenches of Glastonbury and you come out perfectly clean.
That
God,
is. That is.
I would love that. Or I
That's
would love
very
that as a
apt, yeah.
reenactment event.
Yeah.
So like it's worth nearly 4 months' wages for the average factory worker.
I wish I had one now, like,
But
honestly.
I think we all wish we had one. So
Yes.
Definitely
The Queen
back
is
in
going
from
to
our
purchase one.
so
definitely reenactment days.
yeah. So she says she has. I believe I have at least 5 or 6 such items in stock, and I do have the tent, and I do have the mana receptacle.
Cool. I'm gonna hand her over the 25 gold.
Yes. So
That's all. Lovely.
Do
So
you know what? If you have a goblin purse, I'll take one because I'm a bit tired of having to carry around all my stuff. I look over at Gwyn and I'm like, I don't have as
Put
much as
everything
you,
in this.
but I have my bedroll and I have a couple of different, I have the dress uniform and I have this uniform and then I have
Nina, you're
my
strong.
nice
You
dress
can carry it.
church and I have another dress for, yes, but
Madame Joséphine, I believe I actually have one goblin purse in stock still.
Yay.
fantastic. I'll give her the 190 and the 15 for the cone of cleanliness.
So the comb, because that's a common item, that doesn't have any PowerPoint cost to it. But the goblin purse is rare, so that is 2
3?
PowerPoints. No, rare is 2, very rare is 3.
And then the bracelet will be what? 2 as well?
90.
Yeah. I just spotted an error in your
Oh,
No,
sorry.
PowerPoint.
Then PowerPoints.
The bracelet is bracelet of armor is also rare, so it's 2.
Rare.
I just noticed
Okay,
an error
that's
on your
4.
character sheet, Gwyn. You add the goblin purse down as very rare. It's not very rare. It's rare.
Oh, deadly.
So
okay.
it's only 2 PowerPoints, not 3.
It's only 2.
I've corrected it for you. Okay.
Oh, thank you. Amazing. Okay, so it's 2, 3, 4. Okay.
Yeah, that's cool. I can have that. Like, do you know me? No, but then the other thing is if I ever pick up another, and I'm kind of holding Albert like really awkwardly, as if I was like trying to hold his ears that are non-existent, and I'm like, if I ever going to pick up something else, then I can put it in the purse as well. So yeah, but don't tell him. I don't want to upset him.
If given the time, I could potentially enchant your weapon. How good of an enchantment it would be, I don't know. The materials of an item are important in how strong an enchantment it could take. I mean, I would need to examine your halberd. If it's of high enough quality steel, it might take a very fine enchantment. If it's a Fey iron, of course, it could take an extremely strong enchantment and very easily. If we maybe found some other materials, if we could change the haft from wood, from say some sort of a Fey tree or something, that would aid us. But just to be aware, it is a possibility that I could potentially enchant your halberd.
Well, if you want to have a look, like a hand
Okay,
Albert
so
over.
you hand him over, and I just rolled on that 20 there, so she spends a couple of minutes, and she puts down the eyepieces she had, and she reaches across, and floating across in the air is like what looked like a pair of they're the strangest things ever. It looks like 2 sets of jeweler's glasses on a set of spectacle frames that she puts on, and she's adjusting lenses, and she's like, okay, it's a reasonably good quality steel. The wood of the haft, it's a basic oak. I could certainly work with this. If you wanted this weapon enchanted, what kind of enchantment would you like it to have, my dear?
That's a good question. What kind of enchantments can you do?
I could make it simply have a truer and sharper edge that never blunts, that always, will hold true, making your strikes more likely to land and doing slightly more damage. I could give it some sort of an elemental charge so that it could maybe do additional types of damage. Perhaps having a venom secrete from the blade, being able to summon lightning. I mean, there's a number of different things that I could do with the item. I could make it move faster so that you can attack more readily in combat.
Ooh, that sounds good. But I also like the kind of, well, no, lightning is a little bit like, depending on where I fight, it might be.
Well, certainly.
If I need to be more stealthy, like, it would.
Well, that's.
Or if we are in an enchanted forest, for example.
Exactly. Oh my God, could you imagine the forest in the thing if there was lightning coming in?
And let's not forget, and of course you would know this being a Swiss guard, that certain giantkin, particularly the trolls, are quite vulnerable to damage from lightning and electricity.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So. That would be pretty cool. But then making it faster would be very nice as well.
Have a think of it. I mean,
I will.
We could even do something ridiculous and try to give it some sort of enchantment so you could throw it through the air and have it come back to you.
Yeah, okay.
I would be worried about.
Mina is just horrified at the idea of throwing Albert.
Oh yeah, Albert's like 150, 160. Like it's a pole arm. So the idea of throwing this pole arm, it's just like, what could possibly go wrong?
That first of all, but then because it's Albert, I'm like, you wouldn't. She would be like horrified at the idea.
I mean, if we want, we could even look at something else, like say something outside of direct combat. We could enchant it in such a way that, I mean, just as an example, that whenever you carry it, you have the ability to breathe underwater, for example. If you found yourself in a river, hypothetically.
Yeah, sure. That never happened.
Yeah, and we're hoping it doesn't happen again, aren't we, Mina? 8 points of exhaustion damage hauling your ass out. Swear to God.
But it was an ass worth saving.
Yes.
It was an ass worth saving.
My ladies, we've had a wonderful afternoon of conversation. But I really feel that our time is at an end. I think we should look.
You must get back to work, I'm sure.
Of course. And but Mademoiselle Amina, have a think on this. This is not something that one should rush into, especially a fighter such as yourself, because I can tell from just looking at you how strong your connection to this weapon is.
Oh yeah, I'm very attached.
Yes, so have a consideration, and maybe at a later date, if you think you have a good idea of what kind of enchantment you would like me to put on this, I can certainly do so.
Okay, well thank you. Yeah, thank you.
So, you all leave Madame Gautier's store with. Everybody who said they wanted a comb of cleanliness gets a comb of cleanliness. Deduct 15 gold from your character sheet.
If I could.
Gwyn, you also have the tent, and Justine, you also now have your own mana receptacle. Now, of course, the only problem is for both Justine and Sylvia, you're both tapped out. Even though time had passed and we moved on to the next day in the Fey Mound, you did not gain the benefit of a long rest.
Yeah, no, I get that.
So you will both need to have a long rest to replenish your mana that you can then put into your mana receptacle tomorrow if you wish.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Perhaps we could return to the townhouse and have a nap. I know that won't solve the mana receptacle problem, but at least it will rest us up a bit.
You could also look at trains to Cambrai.
I can go in search of a timetable for the trains to Cambrai if you did want to have a rest.
Well, Amanad says she can go and do that because she knows Paris so well.
Perfect.
I was thinking, actually, since we were going back to Cambrai, presumably to visit, so Mina can visit her brother again. But there was the matter of the murderer who died in his cell. I mean, Aminata said she found this to be very suspicious. I'm certainly curious, and we do have time before we need to head back to Cherville.
So on that, today is the 11th. Okay. You must be back in Cherville by the
25th.
Sorry, the 20. Yeah, isn't it?
25th.
Yes,
unless that's changed.
No, the 20th. Look, the moon cycle doesn't change. So the 25th.
Yeah, no.
So you have exactly a fortnight to get back, and remember.
Yeah, and I know that we need to leave. We need to leave 4 days.
Yeah, it takes approximately 4 days to get to Cambrai from Cambrai to Cherville.
So we have like 10 days.
Basically 10.
In theory.
More.
So I don't like that's. It's just an idea, but I don't know what so Sylvia is not going to say, I am still trying to grind so we can get up a level, you know.
I know. No, that's actually are we on the way to the townhouse?
I suppose so, yeah.
While we're having this conversation. Okay. No, that sounds because it was a bit weird, and we could go and ask if, it has been solved by now.
Or if it's happened again.
It was like 2 or 3 days ago, but we could,
Oh, but it might have happened again.
Oh my God.
It could be somebody who is now, I am not saying that whoever killed him is necessarily a bad person, because
a repeated murderer, you mean?
Yeah, but I know if it was a murderer, then possibly not that
an
evil,
executioner.
But, perhaps. I just think it could be something that we could look into.
Oh yes. I'm always eager for jobs.
I mean, what it had said in the newspaper when you were there was that murderer found dead in cell.
Yeah.
Like the day before his execution, I think was what it was.
And I do believe that the term serial killer wasn't coined yet, so I'm not using it.
Wasn't. And you don't. But more than that, you don't know if this guy had killed one person or multiple people. I mean, we are talking 19th century. If you're found guilty of the murder of even one person, that was a capital offense back then. No,
because Sylvia was saying maybe it happened again. Dum dum dum.
Yeah, well, I'm just thinking.
But that's what I'm saying. The term serial killer, people hasn't been coined yet.
I know, and I'm being very careful not to use.
Yeah, same.
Yes, because Jack the Ripper wasn't for.
That was 1890, I think, wasn't it?
1888 to 1891.
1888.
Yeah.
Hey, I was close.
Correct. Yeah.
So,
you were very close. Yeah.
So so a good 16 years before that happened. So. I have thoughts about
and that's when that was actually coined.
I think that was when the term serial killer first emerged, was with Jack the Ripper, wasn't it? So yes, I do have thoughts on who Jack the Ripper would be in the world of Fey Earth.
In the world of Fey Earth. And that's 20 odd years. Oh my God, I have to wait that long to find that out.
Maybe campaign 3 will be set in London, who knows?
Oh yeah, that'd be cool actually.
That'd be so good.
So Gwyn is
bit bad for your health because it was so.
Well, this is the thing. In the world of Fey Earth, it's not as bad in the cities.
That's true because we have Magitech.
Yeah, so there is a lot of cities that are being. So a lot of factories in the cities are being powered by coal. Yes, but not all of them. You do have factories that are powered by Magitech, magically enchanted engines, pistons, and furnaces, and those factories, they burn cleaner.
I love thinking about what would be different in the world of Fey Earth in regards to the real life, because it's so close to the real world and what history would be, but also it's so much fun to think
And the knock-on effect as
what
well.
would be different and the knock-on effect, like
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely. So, like one of the knock-on effects, which I've said before, was the fact that in this world there's a lot more whales in the oceans because they're not being hunted to the same extent for their oil for street lamps in European cities, because many European cities use goblin globes to power to light their streets, so they don't need whale oil. Street lamps was a major user of whale oil in the 19th century. Not just home lamps, but especially the street lamps in cities. That was a big part of why they were hunted. So, because cities like Paris, London, Munich, Berlin, all the major European cities, they use enchanted fairy globes to light their streets. So they're not buying whale oil. So the demand isn't there. So there's significantly more whales in the oceans because the lack of demand means, yes, there is still whaling, but on nothing close to the scale that we had historically.
And Mina just loves to wander underneath a nice glow of a nice,
Yes.
Electric lamp.
fairy glow,
Effectively, yeah, it is the
pretty much, yeah, but
it's
it's
the magical equivalent of electric lamps. So,
So what time is it in game now, Neil?
good question.
It's like early afternoon, okay?
Okay.
Right.
So Gwyn, you head off to find out
I'm
times.
hungry. Should we find
I just
somewhere nice, a nice bistro to eat?
Question for Neil.
Yes.
When Madame Gautier was totting up the money from the Fey Mound, did the gems factor into that, or are they separate?
Yeah. I mean, you guys can decide if you wanted to have given her cut from the gems, or if you want it. So let me just do the math.
He did count them in the 2004.
Yeah, no, it would have
part
been
of the total. Yes. So
yeah, it would have been the part of the total. Yeah, totally.
Just checking. We thought about selling them.
No.
Anyways,
I'm just no, but I'm just going to do the
I'm pretty sure they are. Just looking at the numbers.
So,
but I just wanted to check.
She was getting a cut of 245 gold. Okay, that was her cut. So I mean, if you want, you could have given her that in coin, and then you guys have the gems yourselves. But then we're getting into
we have to go and find them.
Yeah,
and
no,
all
we
that
take the
kind of
coin.
jazz, to be honest, like I'd rather take the cash.
Yeah.
So, well, that's the thing, is that the gems in total were worth 250, 330, 450. Was the monetary value of the gems, and she
10%, and then
she was only looking for 245 gold. So so you could have said, here's a diamond and here's an emerald, that's 250, and someone gets 5 gold back, okay, and then you still have a ruby worth 120 and the sapphire worth 80. That we can say that she gave them to Sophie as part of her cut.
Cool.
So that, I mean, just to keep things simple, because like we all know, the reality is keeping track of group money when is easy when it's just coins, but when part of that is gems that then you're.
I know.
So we can just say Sophie got
I'd rather convert it.
Sophie got her cut from the gems as well.
Perfect.
I'd rather convert gems unless somebody has like specific need, be it magical or I want to make a necklace for my girlfriend, like I did in campaign 1. Honestly, I'd rather convert it to cash. But anyway, I'm actually getting a little bit hungry, so why don't we find a nice bistro?
Absolutely, yeah.
And go for some nice lunch before we go for a lie down. What do you think?
Okay, so this is what we'll say. The party goes to get some food. You then go to the station to look at train tickets for Cambrai. You're told there's a train that leaves for Cambrai in the morning. Okay.
Okay.
And you can get your tickets for that. I can't remember how much it was. It wasn't much. It was like, I think it was like maybe a gold or two. I can't remember. Cambrai is
wasn't even that.
It wasn't even gold, Neil.
Taking the 16 silver and
silver to Paris and a cap.
Yeah, and the 6 copper for the cap.
So so you do
16
that.
silver and 6 copper for a cap. That's what it was.
So you do that. You organize your train tickets. You go to dinner, and then you eventually head back to Amanada's family townhouse, where you're staying for the night with her, with the plan to traveling in the morning. Amanada tells you all that she is actually not going to go with you to Cambrai. She's going to stay here in Paris. Talk to Madame Gautier and try and talk to some other people she knows. See if she can do any research to find maybe some other magical ways that you might be able to heal Mina's brother. So she's going to be staying behind and not going with you to Cambrai.
Okay,
that's kind of her. I hope. Yeah.
Well, she says herself, she would be very useful there, especially trying to convince people to give information about strange deaths of execution or murderers, but she feels her time is better spent in Paris. Okay.
She also knows so many people. She would
Exactly.
easily find a place or somewhere like some
Exactly. So with the
her
party,
family is quite well connected, like as far as I feel like.
With the party having stocked up on items in Madame Gautier's artificery, spending a lot of money, ordering items too, having the train tickets for tomorrow, and being in a safe, lovely, comfortable townhouse for a long night's rest. Planning on going to Cambrai tomorrow to revisit Mina's brother and investigate the mysterious death of this murderer who was found dead in his cell. This is a perfect place to pause in our story. So, folks, we're going to take a 5-minute break. We will be back to you in 5 minutes' time.
I need to loo.
So don't go anywhere, but we will see you all very soon.
Murder.
Okay, folks. Thank you for joining us. When last we left our heroes, the party had returned from the Fey Mound they'd been exploring to the store of the beautiful artificer who'd hired them, Madame Joséphine Gautier. There had been some divvying out of treasures and magical items, and then the party spent a big chunk of the treasure they just retrieved on new enchanted items, some that they were immediately able to get, and some that they have on order. A mixture of items from the practical utilities of things such as a goblin purse and a mana receptacle for our casters, to defensive items, bracelets of armor, to the essential items, the cones of cleanliness that when you brush your hair through, immediately leave you perfect. So, they had a long night's rest, and the next morning you get up and you jump on the train to Cambrai. It leaves at approximately 9 o'clock that morning. The journey is about 160 kilometers, and so as I said, it's about 160 kilometers, and you make that in about 4 hours, okay, approximately. Okay, so
can I ask Nina how she's feeling about everything with her brother? And
Yeah,
I will just allude to her Fight Club experience, but not
during the
actually.
Yeah, because Fight Club. First rule of Fight Club,
Fight Club.
Jesus, that film is old now at this stage.
Showing
our age.
So are we.
Showing our age.
We're also old.
Oh, don't remind me. No, the
not
night
all
were
of
only
us,
10
right?
years ago, so it's fine. But
yeah, speak for yourselves.
Well, I am aging like an elf, so
yeah, I know, but you're not human. Anyway, during that 6 hours, actually, if I could just pull Gwyn to maybe the dining car or something and just have a conversation with her, if that's possible, Neil.
Yes.
Cool. So I'd just kind of grab Gwyn and go like, "Come on, let's have a drink." And
you insist, Mina. Thought you'd never
go to the. She's like, "What? Why? What?" And she's like going to the dining car, and she goes like, "So, yeah, I know you were following me the other night. So just please don't mention it to anyone. I just kind of needed to, I don't know, add my frustration and yeah.
I understand. Look,
Listen, I got punished by God, so what can I say? It's fine. But
no, look, you had to get it out of your system.
Yeah.
And I'm just glad you're okay.
Yeah, it's just...
I kind of expected to have to tell your family that your body was in this dive bar in a tiny, godforsaken town in Paris.
I mean, I've been fighting ogres and giants, I think I can hold my own with like a couple of ruffians in a seedy
you
town.
Definitely did. You should be proud of yourself.
I do have like some training, but yeah, it's a bit difficult because I feel responsible for what happened to my brother.
How? You had nothing to do with this.
No, it's because well, first of all, like when we were starting training with my uncle, my mother wasn't really happy that I did that in the first place because I don't know, she just wanted a girl. I mean, like I like girly things, but I also kind of like fighting. So,
well, listen, I hear you on that one.
But I don't think Mom would never really accepted that, and then I got really competitive and kind of outdid my brother, so he didn't make it into the giant fighters, and so he had to go and find some other job, and with his training he ended up in the army, and I don't know. I just feel like if I hadn't, you know, I just always have to do that. I always get competitive, and I just had to outdo him, you know. And if that hadn't happened, then he probably would have never gone away, and he would have never ended up in. You know, I could have done anything. I could. I don't know. I could have. There were lots of places I could have gone. I could have married. I could have anything, really.
Well, listen, women are meant for more than that, so don't even think about that.
Yeah, I
You
know.
did the right
I
thing
know.
following your heart.
I don't know. The problem is like he's not. He's always very. He's a very gentle soul, and he should have never ended up in the army, and he should have never ended up in a war like that. And
look, Mina, the whole war shouldn't have happened. You know,
well, that's
we're
true. That is
existing in this
definitely true.
horrific world that is awful for mostly women, but I will admit also some men. And what I'm trying to say is it wasn't your fault. It wasn't your fault.
I know.
You
I
would have
mean,
known this war would have broken out, and all these horrible generals would send
I
all these
know.
innocent
Of
men
course,
to go fight their
of
bloody
course,
battles for
nobody
them.
could have known that and all that. But like,
No, so you can't. There's no point dwelling on the past. You're here for him now. That's all that matters.
yeah, but it's just.
You can make up for it now.
But the problem is, like, every time when I'm there, it's like he doesn't even know I'm there. He doesn't even recognize me. It's like he's behind glass and I can't reach him, you know?
Yeah.
And how can I make up for that? It's.
You know, I've never seen anything like the way he is. I don't know if he knows you're there or not, but look, someday you'll be able to tell him.
I hope so, but
You will. No, I believe Aminata, Sylvia, they'll find something to at least bring him back to you a bit, and you'll be able to tell him, I was there by your bedside, and that's all that matters.
yeah, I guess it's just.
You're minding him now.
I am. Although I know it won't be enough for Mum, you know, but.
Yeah, well, look, what can we do? We can never please our parents, right? So.
No, we can't.
Do you think you'll bring him home?
I can't right now. I mean, they were saying they bring him out in the morning because it's quiet, because he gets really agitated if there's like too much noise and too many people. So that's why they bring him back to this little room. And I know he would be so much happier if we were at home, if we could, even if he doesn't like people, we could go up to the Alp, you know, and just be away from everything. But then he would be in fresh air and, you know, the mountains and everything. And I know he would love that. And that's probably best for him. But I can't bring him home right now because just try to get him onto a train with people and then noise. And he probably just.
I see the problem. Yeah, that sounds idyllic. But
I don't know. I honestly, I mean, I wrote my parents, but yeah. I know Mum is gonna be. I know what she's gonna say. So.
Well, look, try not to worry about that. But we'll get him between us all. We'll get him as better as he can be, and ready to go home.
Yeah. I mean, that's all I can do is try to find some way.
We will. I'm sure we will.
So at least to recognize people, you know, and
that's a really good start, I'm sure.
I don't think you can undo what he's had to see, but.
Well, I mean, look at Sylvia. We know.
Yeah, exactly. So if at least he'd be able to go and you could talk to him and he could at least go on a train and be okay. That would be amazing, you know. But I just feel like it should have been me. It should have been me. I think I don't know. I think I probably cope better with everything than he does because he's, as I said, he's always been very gentle soul.
Look, I understand you feel like you have to punish yourself somehow, just don't kill yourself doing it.
Well, then
I don't want to be the one
who else is gonna
breaking
go
breaking the news to your mom about her daughter as well.
Then the problem is, like, do you know, if I do that, then who else is gonna find something, to make him better? So I'm not gonna do that, and that wasn't the intention. I don't know. I just needed to punch something or someone, or just, I know it was stupid, but
listen, punch all the men you need to punch. Just mind yourself.
yeah.
You have my blessing, of course.
Mm-mm.
So
Quinn's just going to give Mina a big hug.
Yeah, you have this very heartfelt conversation.
And we have a beer.
And you have a beer on the train. And as I
said, then we bring back beer for the others.
So you you arrive in Cambrai at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay?
Cool.
Getting into the town. Yeah, I mean, nothing looks especially different to what you'd seen before. Okay.
Mina, what would you like to do first? Would you like to go and see your brother?
Yeah, I can go and say hi. I mean, it's not like he recognizes me. It's not like he knows I'm there, but
no. But
I just want to say hi, and then we can go and ask what the story is with this.
Mina, I think he does know that you're there. He just maybe can't communicate that he knows that you're there.
It's like he doesn't even look at me when he's there. It's like he doesn't. I can't reach him. It's like
he is in there. So I can speak from experience. He is there. He is just trapped at the moment.
Yeah.
If you want, I can use my magics again to make his food more nourishing.
Yeah, I'll be fine. I mean, I just want to say hi quickly, and then we can go and see what the story is with. As you say, maybe it happened again. I mean, we don't know. Maybe pick up a newspaper on the way.
Okay. You grab a newspaper on the way, like a copper or two. And there's nothing interesting in the headlines. Okay, it's a local newspaper. It's talking about some farming.
So it didn't happen again.
So a farming competition that's happening soon, and nothing really of note is in the newspaper. It's quite boring local news. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So you do head to the hospital, and you go in. The nurse immediately recognizes you and says, "Oh, mademoiselle, it's so good to have you back. Would you like to go up and see your brother?" And
yes,
you're led up pretty quickly. You can repeat the process that you did before, where they give you a bowl of food for him, like a porridge, and then Sylvia cast her nature's boon on it to try and give it some more restorative energies, and you try to feed it to him. And when you do, you eat some of it, and it does seem to help him. His eyes look slightly less gaunt. His skin looks slightly more flushed.
When I'm up there, like, Mina's gonna take out the heal all from her goblin purse, because she has one portion left, and she's gonna go like, "Oh, come on, drink that," and she's gonna, like, feed it.
So you feed the second dose of the heal all potion to him. He seems slightly more invigorated. Maybe you're not sure, but there's no effect.
Oh, it was worth a try.
Unfortunately, the nature of the heal all potion, its enchantment is specifically to restore severe critical physical injuries to the body, things like broken bones, internal injuries, that kind of thing. Its magic isn't designed to heal this kind of injury.
It was worth a try, and I tell him about all the things we did very briefly, and then I give him a kiss on the forehead, and I say, like, I'll come back and see you soon, and then I'll take my leave.
So you eventually leave the hospital. We'll say it's about 3:30 at this stage. Sorry, 3 at this stage. And what do you want to do?
Police station?
I suppose I'm just wondering what we're going to say, because we're just like a bunch of randos coming in and being like, hey, so
we could say we're investigative journalists. They won't know any different.
That's actually not a bad idea.
I'm
traveling in my uniform, but what I'll do is, do we check into the hotel?
If you want, you can check back into the same hotel that you were in before.
And then I'll change into something less, something that isn't my uniform.
Gwyn will do the same and make sure she's no weird amulets hanging off her. They're all in the goblin purse, except the amulet from the sisters. Yes, that's always fun.
But that just looks like a necklace. So.
Yeah. Exactly.
I assume you're leaving Albert behind.
Does Albert fit in the goblin purse?
If you want, yes, you can.
I'll fit Albert in the goblin purse.
Okay, so you fit Albert into your
See, another reason why I got the goblin purse. Now I have my emotional support Albert with me at all times.
Vitally important.
So you head to the police station. It's a pretty standard 19th century French police station. Large, simple stone building. When you walk in, you see there's like a reception type space. A young police constable behind a gate with like kind of bars and stuff, with an opening in the bars that he like a gate that so for people to talk to him, and doors off to the right and left. Okay, so
using the lesser telepathy cantrip, Sylvia is going to say to Quinn, "You can do the talking here. This was your idea."
Okay, yeah, sure. And Gwyn walks up. She just kind of winks at Sylvia and nods, and walks up to the constable. Good afternoon. Are there any female constables about?
So the guy that you see, he looks to be in his late 20s. He's kind of got cropped, curly black hair, green eyes, and a rugged, pockmarked face. He looks to be about maybe 164 centimeters. About 5'4", with a lean build, kind of an oblong face with this like long kind of pencil thin mustache. Okay, so as you come up to me, you know what I'm saying, answer anything. He looks at you, and he kind of looks around as if this is a prank.
Sylvia at this point is like going, "Oh, for fuck's sake, Gwyn."
Do you speak? What language am I actually speaking? French? Yeah, I'm speaking French. Yeah. Did you understand me?
Sorry, was that a serious question?
Absolutely.
Well, of course not. All our constables are men. Why would we have a female constable?
Oh, well, that's very shocking. And I'll take out my book of shadows and pretend to jot down a note. Pity, and I'll turn to the rest of the party.
He doesn't seem fazed.
Women are, of course, better note takers, but we'll have to do with you, I suppose. We have some questions.
And you are?
Oh, we are investigative journalists. And we are investigating the murder of the murderer.
Okay. Can I have a deception check, please?
Sure.
Can I cast Lesser Bless?
No. You should have cast it before you came.
It wouldn't have made a difference. Because
what did you roll?
We should never let Gwyn do the talking. Also, because Niamh rolls terribly.
Yes.
Consistently. Yes. Terribly.
What did you roll?
I rolled a 5.
Okay.
Now I do have a charm of 3, I want to say.
Oh yeah,
Not
your
too
charm is actually your charm of 2 you have, but you do not have the deception talent. You have
I have conversationalist.
Yes, no, you have. Do you have a conversationalist?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, right. You can add that +2 for that, but you cannot add persuasion because you were not trying to persuade; you were trying to deceive. So that brings it to
That
a
is a
correct.
9.
I tell
Can
you.
I-
So you said you wanted to cast lesser
Sorry.
bless. Yes, Susan?
Oh, I can re-roll with my
You
amulet.
can.
Yes, and Paulina was going to
So
say
wait, hold on,
something.
wait.
Sorry, Paulina. Go ahead.
Wait. Which amulet is this again?
Fortune.
Oh, and that's that's the rabbit's foot. Did you put that into the goblin
That's in my
purse?
goblin purse. Never
Yes.
mind.
So you
Because I'm pretending to
explicitly
look
said
normal.
you put
I did.
all of your amulets except the pendant of shielding into your goblin purse.
I did.
You said that explicitly. So sorry, Justine, you were going to say there.
Can I donate my inspiration dice?
No. So, yes, I just want to look, Sylvia, you are restricted caster level 2, intermediate. So, at intermediate, you can cast a first level spell while bound and gagged. So, I'm going to say you can cast less or bless as Gwyn is immediately doing this because it's a first level spell. So, you can, with your training, cast that undetected.
I know, that's why I was asking. I can just be standing there
So
going,
that would give Gwyn an extra +3 bonus with this divine blessing, bringing it to a grand total of 10.
Wait, 12? No? Conversationalist and charm?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Plus the conversation is 12.
I'm going to blame Sylvia for this.
Why?
She literally said, Gwyn, you do the talking. That's a terrible idea.
Because it was literally, this was your fucking idea.
The constable looking at you is like, okay, sorry, investigative journalist, yes?
Yes.
Okay, and if I could just have your name, mademoiselle. You are?
I am, and I'm going to give Aminata's name.
Well, she's not here.
She's not here. And she's a very important person, so...
So you say my name is Aminata Amelie Moreau.
Yes.
Okay, and you are a
it's
journalist for which publication exactly?
Oh, private, if you get my meaning.
Of course, and he's writing all this down. And your associates, are you all investigative journalists?
Yes, we are all on the same case. Yes.
Oh, very good. If I could just get your names, just so I can help with your investigation.
All right. Well, I'm no one, and I don't give a shit. My name's Sylvia Bauer.
Sylvia Bauer, wait. And he looks at Mina.
Mina, act like a person,
what
please.
Name do you give?
I give oh, my name is Anna Gautier.
Can I have a deception check, please?
Oh my god.
18.
Okay.
I rolled an 18 plus, like, what is this?
0,
Nothing.
I think, for you. You have a charm of 0. And yourself, mademoiselle, looking at Justine.
My name is Marie de Witt.
And I need a deception check, please.
Like, I'm no one, so I don't give a shit. Like,
17. 17 roll, and I have 1 charm, so
18.
that's 18.
Okay. All right. So private journalist. Very good. Okay. Yes. So sorry. The murder of the murderer. I'm a bit confused by this.
Yes, we are investigating that very strange case of the man who was for the executioner's block, but was killed in his cell just before.
Oh, wait. Jacques Dutoit.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was very strange.
It was very strange, extremely strange. But I'm just curious, how exactly did you learn about it? Because we were a small little city, you know. While it was strange, I wouldn't have thought it was news that would have traveled far.
Well, we were given a newspaper by the benefactor of our investigation that yes, that gave the details of this strange incident.
We're a newspaper that specializes in strange, mysterious murder cases.
Oh, I see. Oh, interesting. That must be very fascinating work to be doing.
Absolutely, and you can be a part of it as well. We just need all the details that you have on this case, please.
Of course, absolutely, of course. And do you know what I could also do if this would help with the investigation is I could try and see if I can find any files on him, maybe some of the records of the case, of his conviction, and I could post that to you if you could just give me an address to send it to.
Of course, I'll give you my home address, and I will give Aminata's home address.
Which is in Paris.
Which is in Paris, but Gwyn is going to Paris soon, kind of.
But
okay.
But probably not soon enough. Well, you know, we are staying in a townhouse while we're here up from Paris, so I suppose I could give you that address.
You give him the name of the hotel, yes?
Yeah.
The Hotel de Ville. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh, the Hotel de Ville. That's a very, very fine establishment there. Yes. Madame Levette. She's a wonderful host. Yes.
She is.
Okay. So, wow. And he kind of looks around conspiratorially, okay, and leans into you all. Okay. He says, "Well, the thing you need to know about Dutoit, okay, so." Despite what you might have heard in the papers, the man was actually nothing in any way interesting or special. He was simply a man who had, gotten down on his luck, I suppose you could say. He was a bit of a drunkard. He was a man who loved to get into fights. And the murder that he'd committed, he'd gotten into an argument with some other men. It escalated and he beat a man to death.
I understand he thought that the man had perhaps been very close to his wife or something.
That's what
was in the paper.
That's what the paper said. To be honest, I think that was just gossip.
You never had any dealings with this man yourself, no?
Oh, of course, many times, but for the usual stupidity of
just being drunk
and you know, being a lout and so forth, you know.
So he had a history of violence?
No, no more than any of the other drunkards in the city, you know. Like he wasn't. There was nothing special about the man. He was a man.
Did he have?
Sorry, Mademoiselle.
Oh, did he have any like I imagine a man like that. He would not have been. A lot of people would have, you know, been annoyed with him. Did he have enemies per se?
Oh, the drunkards.
Oh.
And we think this was what the fight was. I mean, the papers were trying to make it sensational and say that it was some lover's quarrel with his wife.
A crime of passion.
I know the likes. That may have been an aspect to it. Honestly, from what I saw on the case files, it seemed to be nothing more than a stupid drunken fight between idiot drunken men that went too far and a man died. And it happened in a very public place with lots of witnesses, so there was no question over who was the guilty party.
Justine is taking it like very seriously. She would be the person like binge watching murder documentaries on Netflix. She's like very much into it. She's
never seen this side of Justine before.
I have this image of
I love it
of 21st century Justine wearing like an Oodie with like a massive bowl of popcorn, binge watching true crime.
Oh yeah, 100%. That would be her. And she just goes, then it's even more fascinating. Then it's even more interesting to investigate this mysterious murder.
The fact that he was found dead in his cell, though, I presume was evidence of poison found or anything like this?
Well, this is where it gets interesting. I mean, obviously, when this happened, we did summon a doctor. Yes, we did summon a doctor to examine the body, Dr. Fournier, who works in the hospital.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
you know of Dr. Fournier?
We've heard of him. The news travel fast.
I see. Of course. Okay. Well, we did summon him, and he, of course, examined the body, and to pronounce. He was the person who pronounced the death of the man, of Jacques. So when we saw it, and I don't know. This is the thing. I was not working the night that it happened or the night before, you see, but I did hear that his wife had visited him the night before.
His wife had visited Dutoit?
Yes, exactly.
The night he died or the night before he died?
The night before he died.
Sorry, Neil, just to eliminate confusion here, for some reason, my mind went to Dr. Fournier's wife, which is not probably, but so the wife of Dutoit, Madame Dutoit, we'll say, visited him the night before.
Yes,
okay.
Colette Dutoit.
I see.
So now, I have heard some people have talked about that woman before. Some have made rumors about her being perhaps a bit too loose with her morals. Others have even suggested that perhaps she could be a witch.
No.
Where?
No.
Where?
Sylvia is like stony faced, but also, Jesus Christ, Justine, get a hold of yourself.
So who knows? Maybe.
Oh yeah, Mina barely holds it together. Like
maybe she could have poisoned her husband because she hated him so much, or maybe she could have struck him with the evil eye. If she is a witch.
Well, if she's a witch, then my question is the doctor? Does he know anything about the arcane?
I don't believe so. I think he's a modern man of science. Yes.
Okay.
So no one investigated the possibility of the murder being magical murder.
I will be honest with you.
Or even poison.
To be completely honest with you, the man was a thug. He was a violent thug. He was a criminal. Nobody was sad to see him go. So there was not really much by way of investigation. Dr. Fournier pronounced him dead. And that was it.
If I may ask, and this may be impertinent, but so you say that he was a thug. Was he then a violent man to his wife, or?
I don't honestly know.
Okay.
He could have been. It would not surprise me. So maybe she was getting revenge.
Oh no, I'm sure we can leave the wife out of it at this stage. It's hardly her. Let's stick to the facts, shall we?
He was gonna die anyway the next day, right?
He
was for the
hangman's noose, yes.
So why would anyone
That's why it's so interesting.
Go through the trouble, exactly. If he was gonna die anyway.
This is part of the thing. Is like there was no reason for anybody to kill this man, so it was assumed that it was natural causes. And Dr. Fournier didn't find any evidence of he had no wounds on him or any such thing. There was none of the kind of discoloration that you sometimes get with poisons. So
they have around the mouth sometimes.
So he just said it was not unknown natural causes, that he was called by God, and he arranged, because he's a good man, for the body to be removed to the hospital to then be properly disposed of. Yeah,
I did. If he is a man, as you say, he is. I don't think he was called by God. I think he was called by something else.
Well, they say they put this on the death certificate when they do not know what happened.
Yes, yeah.
So.
Well, thank you for your time.
Of course, thank you for coming in. It's so wonderful to meet such hard-working and bright young women with such intelligent questions. It's such a rarity in these parts.
You flatter us.
and we'll make sure to be down to the Hotel de Ville with any important information.
Thank you. And maybe consider, since you were so impressed by us, hiring some female constables. It is the 19th century, after all.
D'accord.
Well, I think we're done here.
Thank you for your time.
Au revoir.
Sylvia's just going to give a nod and walk out. So what are we thinking?
I think maybe it was the doctor, because he took the body back. Maybe he did some investigations or some experiment or something.
Hey, so wife could be a witch, in which case, she killed her thug husband, you know.
Why would she though? Why would anyone bother killing him unless they needed the body for something?
Or unless they wanted to be the one to do it.
Was he supposed to be hanged, or was he supposed
hanged? Hang for murder. The common punishment penalty.
Maybe he isn't even dead. Maybe that was just a poison or some potion to make him look dead.
But to what end? And why would a man like that, a violent thug, as you say, how would... Also, he could know all sorts of people.
So to experiment on it? I don't know. Listen, I haven't got...
Well, if his
maybe
wife is a
somebody
witch...
paid the doctor, or maybe even the wife wants to get him back out. I don't know.
I mean, it could have been the wife, but if she did it, I'm sure she had her reasons. There are many poisons that feign a natural death.
I was going to say, Gwyn, you probably know your way around poisons. I'm sure that you would be able to do something.
The liver, that doctors, it looks like a natural death to a doctor over time. So
Gwyn,
she did it. I'm sure she had her reasons.
Gwyn, can you give me an intellect roll plus herbalism?
Please. Intellect.
I have herbalism too, but I know more of it. I'm more a healer.
This is Gwyn.
Okay.
Can I add anything else?
No, it's
intellect.
It's intellect plus herbalism. You do have a +3 in herbalism, and you have an intellect of 2, so you're not stupid.
Did you roll a 1, Gwyn?
No, that's 11 total.
I will be very kind and say that you've taken out the rabbit's foot.
Yes, thank you.
I could be able to take it out.
That's the best ever. I was like, can I use my finger? Where is it? Oh yeah, it's in the bloody goblin purse. Oh my god.
That's something you'll need to start keeping track of. So
honestly, nearly died.
That's a bit better. I rolled a 12. It's a 17 total.
Okay, that's better. So I'll say with a 17, you would have heard of but not be able to make yourself poisons that you're describing. Some poisons that will kill instantly and leave no sign of the cause of death. And that there were you've heard of other poisons that will make the person fall unconscious and appear to be dead if examined by all but the most skillful physician.
I am literally thinking of Aqua Tofana right now.
Yeah, so...
and if no one knows what that is, do the wiki. It's fascinating.
Yeah, so,
anyway.
So I'm saying with that role, you do not know how to make these things, but you have heard of them. Your aunt and your mother would have told you of these things, but you hadn't been yourself taught how to make these particular poisons yet, okay?
Justine be like, we need to find out where he's buried, dig up the grave and see if the body is there.
Well,
I'm looking over to Justine going like, who are you?
On that note,
fuck down.
Jeez, let her go. I've never seen where this goes. So willing
if
to,
you want,
wow.
If you want, you could travel to the city graveyard and see if you could explore it to find his grave.
Justine, I will help you dig up his body.
Yes.
This is getting dark. It would be in an unmarked grave, wouldn't it?
You don't know. Well, you could ask if you can find a caretaker.
Okay, yeah, let's do that then.
Should we buy some shovels on the way?
That is a new side to you, Justine. That is
I don't know if we should be necessarily digging up a grave if the police are called and we are found then.
They may be on the watch for body snatchers and such.
Yeah.
So,
That's fair, that's
what's
fair.
the plan? Some people were talking about going to talk to the doctor. Some people were talking about going to the graveyard. Do you want to go to the graveyard first and check that out? Or do you want to go to the hospital first?
Let's try the graveyard and talk
Justine,
to
what do you think?
Yes.
Oh god. Now Justine's calming down a bit, and she was like, "Yeah, that's a great idea. I love it, but it's a bad idea at the same time." Let's talk to everyone first. I think.
Okay.
I think let's talk to as many people as we can talk to.
Well, so far the only people you could talk to is Dr. Fournier. You could go
And the wife.
Well, you don't know you don't know where she lives. You know nothing about her.
No.
Fair.
So you've no idea where in the city this woman lives.
Let's go. Where is the graveyard in relation to the police station and the hospital?
I do not have my map of Cambrai, which I actually found, which was published in the year 1872, which is the year that the game was set. I don't have it in front of me right now, so we're going to say it's a 15-minute walk from where you are. Okay?
Grant.
So.
Well, it's still daylight.
Yes.
We could go to the graveyard, see if we can talk to the caretaker. Maybe he even knows where the wife lives. And I mean, we can always swing by for another visit and then talk to the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Perhaps we should
While
take
I'm
a
off
picture
with my
of
brother.
just in case.
Yeah.
So you just walk your 15 minutes to the graveyard. It's a pretty nice graveyard. It's not that massive. There's like, you see your standing stones and that. You're wandering around for about 10, 15 minutes. Give me awareness checks, everybody.
Oh, just. I rolled a 6 plus my awareness is what's my awareness? A 1, I think, right?
I got a 9 total.
I got 19.
Yes,
Okay.
she is blooming.
She is
amazing.
I'm loving this.
You spot off to the distance a guy who's kind of leaning off resting on one side. He's smoking a pipe, and he's like, "Oh, that guy looks like he works here."
Shall I do the talking?
Maybe Justine, do you want to take the lead here?
Yeah, sure. No problem.
Good idea.
So you all head over and you're at the front and you see this guy. He looks to be in his mid-50s, kind of average height, a very kind of lean kind of build, clearly somebody who works outdoors. He's got kind of brownish hair, but it's more grey than brown, kind of curly mop on top of him. Weather-worn face, someone who clearly spends all their time outdoors, simple linen shirt with like heavy brown woolen trousers and a long leather coat as well, and he's just smoking a simple pipe. Lovely bright blue eyes as you come up to him, and he kind of takes the pipe.
And what's his name? Guillaume or what?
And he says, "Bonjour, mademoiselles. Comment ça va?"
Bonjour, my name is Marie de Witt. I'm an investigative journalist, and these are my colleagues. So, we want to know. Remember that death of a prisoner recently, the man who was charged.
Dutoit?
He was due to be executed and then was found in his cell.
Yeah, wait. I think I remember reading something in the newspaper. Was it a week ago, 2 weeks? I can't remember. A week or something ago. That the guy was a murderer who's going to be hanged and he was found in a cell dead. Wait, why? Why'd you ask?
Oh, we just think it's a very, very interesting case. That a man who wasn't anyone's enemy, who wasn't really anyone's, not an important person, basically no one, just some drunken man, killed in his own cell a day before being hanged. We just find it's very peculiar and very interesting.
Yeah, he had been in good health. It is unusual for men who are young to just suddenly die, and in such circumstances, it is just very strange to us.
And our newspaper collects all sorts of peculiar, interesting stories, and we thought that would be a good fit, a mysterious murder in a small town. So I just wanted to ask if you if you remember his funerals. Were there many people? When was that? How was he buried?
Well, actually, now that you mention it, I don't remember that body coming this way. Yeah.
Is that unusual? Would criminals would be buried in a graveyard, or would they go to unmarked graves?
Well, they normally would go to the pauper's grave on the far side of the graveyard, but they'd still come here. I actually don't remember that body coming this way. That is
It's interesting.
Maybe he started to feel better.
Yeah, he walked it off.
Yeah, no. I do not remember. Obviously we get like burials most days,
Of course.
But no, that man, his body never came here, and clearly he wasn't loved because nobody came looking for him. Yeah. Sorry, I couldn't help you more, Madame Joséphine.
No,
you helped just enough.
Okay.
You helped us just great. Thank you so much. And
that is mysterious. This is getting more and more strange. So
and Justyna's just getting more excited. She's like, oh yes, very mysterious, very mysterious.
I fucking love it.
Oh, lead into it. I love it.
Oh. Yes. Well, Justyna's just going to say goodbye and say thank you for help. And then as she turns away and walks a couple of steps so that he's out of reach, she'll be like, oh yeah, you helped just enough so we don't have to go here at night and dig up a grave.
Well, I am happy to.
I mean, it's on my to-do list, but next time.
I'm
not even surprised.
Well, there are certain...
There literally are body parts I need.
Yeah, for certain spells, you actually...
Oh, you want a hand of glory, don't you?
Not even a hand of glory. There's other spells Gwyn's looking at that require human bones.
Gwyn's a little bit sad we're not digging a grave, but...
Oh, you should have told me earlier. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Who are you people? So that either means he's still in the hospital being experimented on, or he indeed walked it off and felt better. Yeah.
This is unusual.
The doctors do weird kind of experiments on dead bodies to kind of for science. Looking at Justine. You're a person of science.
Oh yes,
yeah, I love it.
That was me.
MVP.
No,
MVP.
Justine is doing all sorts of different, magical thing. But being in the university, I assume, and Neil, correct me if I'm wrong, that she would be aware of medical students that probably by this stage, even with all the magical technology available, would still need some real bodies to open up.
So this is the thing in this period in time. Grave
that didn't
robbing,
start happening until later, or was it now?
No. It was beginning to start now. Grave robbing was a thing. Medical universities were always desperate for bodies for their students. That was why you had the I can't remember the proper name for the grills that they put over the graves.
Yeah.
It was to protect them, to stop grave robbers, and B, from looting the corpses, because they would often be buried with precious items that they would have had, like jewelry and the likes, but also just to people robbing the bodies to sell to medical universities. Yeah,
we are educating our listeners here. So those things are not because people thought the bodies are going to stand up and walk away. No, it was literally people digging them
up to sell the dead bodies to medical universities for their students to use. So this is a thing. So you don't know, maybe Dr. Fernier had kept the body to sell to university or to keep for training. You don't know.
But then for Justine is very, very much familiar with it, and that was her first version, unless someone needed his body for something.
Yeah.
Because she's been to university, she has a very kind of extensive academic background, and although she didn't study medicine herself, she would be aware of those things happening.
You
as
would
in
have
like,
had friends who were studying medicine.
of course, yeah. As in like, oh yeah, bodies are appearing. Woo. So it's sort of like don't ask, don't tell type situation.
Yeah. What? Yes.
But,
yes.
But everyone sort of knows where those bodies are coming from.
Yeah.
But then thinking about it further, Justine would probably be less likely to kind of stick with that version, because that's too much trouble to go for a body still. Like, yeah, bodies are always needed for sure, but they could have just waited for a day.
But the groundskeeper said that there are burials coming in every day. Why would you target a man in the cell? Yeah. It seems far too complicated for such a simple endeavor. Unless
I don't know, even if you had like some sort of like a special body and like was, I don't know, just like scientific wonder, still they could have easily waited for a day.
Yeah, it's not like they did something that would have destroyed the body.
Yeah, so
they needed him to be very fresh for something.
Or he's just alive. One or the other.
Or he died of natural causes a day before his execution, and it was a completely mundane event that has happened. And
then where's the body? Where is the body?
Where is the fun in that?
Where is the body? I want to know.
In the university
Dr. Fernier
somewhere.
sold it to the medical universities in Paris for some extra cash.
And if that's what happened, cool. Don't
mundane.
mind. And if that's what happened, cool. But I want to know.
Yeah.
So where are you going now? I'd say at this stage it's maybe about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe 4:30.
Is there an inn nearby? Oh no! Where is my dive bar in relation to?
So your dive bar is about 10 minutes or so from where you are.
And I look at the rest, and I look at Gwen, and I go like, okay, girls, don't judge me, don't ask me why I know this place, but I think I know where we can go. What time is it now?
About 4:30-ish.
Mina, when have I ever judged you or anyone else?
Oh, I know. I'm just, and I leave.
Gwen just side eyes Sylvia because she feels very judged by her constantly.
So Sylvia is just going to say, aside from you breaking Justine's heart.
Justine, you mean
Juliet?
Juliet.
Assaulting an ally, poisoning fairies.
Look, it's fine.
Aside from you, Gwen, full stop. When have I ever judged anyone for anything? Aside from you, Gwen.
Aside from Gwen.
I'm going to say Sylvia had her own shit going on, and that's why she reacted the way she did the whole thing. So
I'm gonna go. I lead him to the dive bar.
You lead him to the dive bar, okay? If I can find my notes on him, I can't. I don't know where they're gone.
Actually, Neil, while we're walking, Sylvia is going to fall into step with Gwen. I'm just gonna kind of say quietly enough because, like,
are you saying or casting?
I'm gonna say it because it's I don't want to have to like keep casting it and stuff. Look, about the whole thing with Juliet, I am sorry if you felt that I was judging you. All joking aside.
I appreciate that. I did.
I had
judged,
but look, I had my own reasons. I thought your situation at the time felt similar to the situation I had been in, and I allowed my own feelings about things to get in my way. I had thought you had given me the impression that you were in love with Juliet, and obviously that was not the case, and I reacted, and I am sorry for that.
All due respect, I wish you wouldn't leap to those conclusions.
Well, there's no judgment in, being casual with people, provided that everyone involved knows what is happening. And I think I just felt that Juliet believed something else was going on.
Sylvia, you keep making this about yourself and your opinions on me, but I'm dealing with this literally, and I don't need to keep hearing your opinions on what you thought happened between us.
Okay, I was trying to apologize.
I understand how it may have looked to you, but I would have pursued her still. She left the village, and now I can't, and that really hurts.
I'm sorry. I didn't realize. I wasn't trying to. I was just trying to apologize, and
I just wish you would stop reminding me that I broke her heart. I live with it. I know.
Okay, I'm sorry for that. And so he's just going to walk away because I have made things worse.
If it makes you feel better, Mina's judging you all anyway, like a good Catholic does,
Oh, of course.
Except for Justine. Justine hasn't done anything to be judged.
Oh yeah, that's true. Actually,
just as a side note, okay?
That's very true.
Except maybe for a suggestion to dig up some graves, but
yeah, that was. I honestly, you are definitely. Mina's gonna look at you for a completely different. Yeah, she's gonna pray for your soul. Anyway, she's gonna pray as if she had anything.
It hasn't worked so far.
You get to the dive bar.
Yes.
You head in. There's not many people there. There's the barman who immediately recognizes
you. Yeah, he recognizes you. I go up and I say like, "Hello, how are you? How have things been? Can I have a drink, please?"
Beer?
Yeah.
Okay, so he goes. He pours you a beer from a tankard. You're not
sure. I buy beer for everybody, but I kind of whisper to, well, no, they probably know themselves not to really drink it. Anyway, so I buy beer for everyone.
So everybody is looking at you all strangely because, 4 women have just walked into this bar that probably doesn't get a lot of women in it.
How many people are in there, and are those people that...
There's like 3 other guys.
Are there guys that have been there that night of the fight?
You're not
Would
sure.
they recognize me? I'm not sure. Yeah. Sure. Well, I was very drunk.
Yeah, you're not.
I was very, very drunk. I'll just cut to the chase, and I say to him like, "Oh, do you, by any chance, know where we could find Colette Dutoit?"
Colette Dutoit. Was she married to Jacques Dutoit?
Yeah.
Sorry, no. I don't even know where he lived.
Are you sure? Is he not somewhere? Is she frequenting in this area, maybe?
I mean, he used to come in here, but I actually didn't know where he lived. I'm sorry.
Did he come here often?
Sometimes.
You heard what happened to him?
He's dead, isn't he?
Well, yeah, but he died in the prison cell.
Oh, well, maybe the police beat him. He was going to be hanged anyway.
That's true. That's true. Do you think that might happen?
That the police would beat a man? Of course.
Yeah.
Does it happen often?
Yeah, all the time. Well, I mean, not to a fine lady like yourself, of course, but to some of the degenerates that drink in here, of course it would.
So, has there been more? Justine's trying to do it as nonchalantly as possible, which is probably not working very well considering the environment. And she'll be like, "Is it often that people die in their cells from other courses, from prisons to being executed?"
Not that I know of, but there have been a few cases of men who fell badly while being arrested by the police and then died of their injuries.
Sure they did.
Now, these were usually not particularly nice men. Like, let's be honest. None of us here are saints. Not you.
Who is? Who is?
So, yes. Sorry I can't help you anymore, ladies.
Would you know of anyone who might be able to help us?
Well, Armand actually, I think, was friends with Dutois. But, I actually haven't seen him in a few days.
And where would we find him?
Where was it he was living again? I actually don't even know where he lives. You met him. He was the pretty boy who was trying to talk to you the night you were in here. Remember when you came in here that night?
Oh, that guy. Yeah, well, I don't know where he lived either.
Yeah, remember when you came in here and you were drinking and you started the fights with all
Yes,
the guys?
yes. I remember.
Yeah. We're still talking about that. I mean, you got that. Or your leg seems to be okay.
Oh, it's perfectly fine.
Yeah,
perfectly
that
fine.
looked like a nasty break. I mean, you knocked that guy out in 2 punches, but like that was a pretty nasty break you got there. I mean, it was the devil's luck the way you just falling like that. What are the odds? Like,
you still completely missed all the drama, so she'd just be like,
yeah, it's like,
it's probably a punishment I got, but you know,
it wasn't even a good punch he landed on you. You just fell bad. I mean, I felt sorry for you, Mademoiselle. You know, like no.
She knocked him
the
unconscious in 2 punches.
Oh, this little one here, she might be small, but she packs quite the punch. You
know?
Oh,
yeah, I have seen me in a fight before, so I know.
She was drinking, she was looking for some fights with some of the men, and then one of our guys who, like, he likes to fight, he got 2 lucky shots on her, and she stumbled, and it was a pretty bad, it looked like, obviously it must have been fine. I was sure you'd broken your leg. Clearly you didn't. Knocked him out in 2 punches. But then after that, none of the other men wanted to fight her because they were like, well, she's injured, you know. And honestly, I think they were scared after what she did.
I actually think they were scared, absolutely scared, useless people. But like, any idea where we will find that man?
I'm really sorry. I mean, if you want, you could come back tonight. But to be honest, it's kind of strange. We haven't seen him in about 2 or 3 days, and he's in here normally every night.
Does he have a?
Do you know where he works?
Or yeah.
I think he works as a laborer in a warehouse near one of the factories. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think that's it.
Which part of town would that be in?
I don't know which factory it is. There's only 3 factories in the city.
Yeah, fair enough.
Only 3. Okay.
It's a small city, Mademoiselle.
It is, yeah, it is. Which part of town are they located in?
Like, there's in a couple of different spots. You don't really know because you haven't done a proper tour of the place, but you're pretty confident.
Yeah, that's why I asked your man.
He's asking him. He's like, there's like 2 in the east and then there's 1 in the north section.
Okay, yeah, that sounds reasonable. What was his name again, Armand?
Jules Armand.
Cool. Thank you very much. I might see you again if you get some people in with, if you have some men with actual
skill.
Yeah. I was gonna say balls, but like that wouldn't be Mina's lingo.
So, what is the plan?
Well, there are only 3, so I suppose we need just ask around.
Exactly. How far would they be? Shall we take a cab and let's drive from one place to the other and ask around in front of the factories?
How far are they from each other, Neil? It's a small
It's a small enough city. Like, it's quite a small city. Like, think Kilkenny.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I was just wondering, so if it's not that big, we could probably just walk.
Yeah, you could easily walk.
Yeah, let's do that.
Cool. Okay.
So, with the party planning on walking around to find the factory sites in the city to try and track down this Monsieur Jules Aymon, who you have been told was a friend of Jacques Dutoit. A lot of strange things happening, but I'm sure it's all completely mundane and normal. His body having never gotten to the graveyard, his wife maybe being a witch, and his possible friend not being seen for several days. We've got
that's
a
weird.
couple of different lines of inquiry to pursue. No real idea what we're looking for, but nonetheless, I think this is a perfect place to pause in our story. So, thank you all for joining us. If you liked this adventure and like to know more about the world of Fey Earth, of course, please go over to our itch.io page, fey-earth.itch.io. You'll find a bunch of really great products there, all free to download, pay what you want. So we got our early release core rulebook, a bunch of adventures and so forth. We're on Twitter, while there's still a Twitter. We're on Blue Sky. If you have an invite code, we have our Patreon. At fun tiers, you can get like free stat blocks and magic items likes for your own games of Fey Earth, and our fireside chats every month where you get to post questions to our players and they will answer them. So a bunch of different ways to support us. We will hopefully in the next 2 weeks or so, hopefully the preview page of our next Kickstarter will be going up. Please make sure you follow it. This Kickstarter will be launching probably sometime in March. And this is the big one to try to raise the money to fund the publication of Fey Earth, to get it fully out there and not just be partially finished downloads on itch. So please be sure to follow that once that goes up live. But apart from that, thank you all again for joining with us, and we shall see you next week, same bat time, same bat channel. So good night all. Bye.